Hello there and welcome to Market Insights. I am Lovina Emah. It's a beautiful Wednesday morning and we're going to be discussing a recent development in the finance sector, and that is the recent approval by the Securities and Exchange Commission of two cryptocurrency platforms. So the recent approval of crypto exchanges by the Securities and Exchange Commission in Nigeria has been a significant development. As you know, for years, Nigerian youths have shown immense interest and enthusiasm for cryptocurrencies. However, the lack of regulatory oversight and the associated risks that may have deterred many investors is now going to change. So with SEC's recent approval, these young individuals can participate in the market with a greater sense of security and confidence. And that's absolutely a wonderful development. Furthermore, this move has the potential to attract more significant foreign investment into Nigeria. As you know, in other developed countries, both whether in Europe or North America, cryptocurrency platforms are being used as a means of exchange for luxury goods and other items. So cryptocurrencies are a global phenomenon, and the SEC's decision signals to international investors that Nigeria is a favorable destination for their capital. So it's a win-win situation for both domestic and foreign investors. And it's also important to note that no investment is without risk. So however, the SEC's approval and oversight might also provide a layer of security that can help to mitigate these risks. As the market matures and the regulatory landscape evolves, we can expect even greater confidence and participation from Nigerian investors. So I have a guest who will discuss this welcome development this morning. He's in the studio with us. So after the break, I will introduce him and we'll talk further about this. So join us after the break. Thank you for watching the program. Now we have a wonderful guest who has joined us in the studio. We've seen him a few times on the program, but we haven't seen him in a long while. But we're happy he's back with us this morning, and that is Mr. Charles Fakrogha. He's a well-experienced stockbroker with many years of experience in finance and investment banking, and he's right here in the studio to discuss the SEC's approval of crypto exchanges and how this will also bring in more Nigerian youths into the capital markets. So thank you for joining us this morning, Mr. Charles.
Thank you, Lovina. It's nice being back here again. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm happy to have you in the studio. And as usual, putting on your red garb, this is really good to see you again, our consistent stockbroker. So it's really great to have you in the studio this morning.
Yes, I had to run and leave the trading floor. Though the market has opened, we're in continuous trading. Okay. But I said, no, I mean, the exchange to this place, let me just get here on time. So I'm here, no problem.
Okay, this is great. Okay, so before we get right into it, we want to talk about this new welcome development. But okay, yes, I said the Securities and Exchange Commission have granted two cryptocurrency platforms approval, and one of them also exchanges our current currency for items, which is also a welcome development. But in the news, it was explained that this is an approval in principle. So what does this mean, an approval in principle?
Yes, thank you very much, Lovina. But before I delve into your question, let me first of all use the opportunity to thank or congratulate SOUQ News Television for that's your feat in terms of your new radio station. It's very wonderful.
Thank
that
you.
That is a 104.9 ILS. I think
yes, the IL FM 104.9.
Yes.
That is thank you for that
radio station to listen to now.
Oh yes, yes.
If you want to get all the benefit of news.
Yes, and it's serving the business community.
Exactly. So I'll continue to advise my colleagues in the capital market, the financial sector as a whole, to begin to look at listen to ILS.
The IL, yes, the IL 104.9. Yes.
104.9 FM. Okay, then. Yes, it's quite alarming. My heart also goes to the people of Borno State.
Oh yes.
For the flood that is ravaging that beautiful town of Maiduguri and its environs. So, and with the government officials on ground now, I think they will really do a lot to assist those who have been affected by the flood. Yes.
Okay.
Now, coming back to your question, yes, you were talking about, when I listen to the news and I see that a lot of people are talking about cryptocurrency, blockchain, digital assets, and all that, it is not something new. And I must also congratulate the current DG of SEC, that is
Dr. Emomotimi.
Emomoti Agama,
Yes.
because he has shown that he is a core professional. He has shown that, yes, with all these reforms, not that these reforms are new, but implementing them, that's the issue. So we're happy that they've given some approval. You said approval in principle. That is crypto exchanges.
Yes.
So you see, everything boils down to technology. And when we are talking about fintech, financial technology. So you can see that for quite a long time, the SEC and operators in the market have been improving their digital technology because there must be a foundation for all these products to really fly. You can't just come make an announcement and when you don't have the foundation. I will tell you, as far back as 2020, Securities and Exchange Commission has done quite a lot when it comes to their digital infrastructure. And in fact, even for operators, I will tell you because I was involved in so many of the trainings, they have put in place technology, processes, and they are just ready for any investment that will benefit the Nigerian capital market, the economy, like you have said, foreign investors, and also deepening the Nigerian capital market. So that approval that was given, you were talking of approval in principle.
Yes.
Yes. The issue there is you have to approve the exchanges. Now, the infrastructure is being provided, but you also need to now, register the people that are going to be using that exchange. So that is one thing to have the exchange being approved. Another thing, you now need to have the operators, which is very key because you can have the exchange being approved. What about the operators? Do they have that competence to operate using those exchanges? And, it's everything technology. We are talking of our young people. And I am so excited because I will just tell you, as far back as 2020, I was called upon to design a 2-day training program on cryptocurrency. And I must tell you, do I really know anything about cryptocurrencies at that time? Not really. But you see, the good thing about capacity building is people will have done it before. So I did my research and I came up with a lot of content. When we're talking about introduction to the cryptocurrency, we need to know what cryptocurrency is all about. And I was amazed as to the young persons who attended that program. They were even the one teaching, in terms of how they've been operating in this cryptocurrency space, blockchain and all that. They told me types of cryptocurrency, the mechanism of trading that currency. They also but what I discovered, as a trainer, the legalities of the cryptocurrency was not there. They were not aware of any legal issues and all that, regulatory issues for them. It was just what they call peer-to-peer.
Yes.
They don't want any regulation and all that. So now with SEC having what we call RegTech, that is regulatory technology, where, yes, young persons come, fintech come, explain this thing to us, we need to understand it, at least have the basis, so that we can give informed regulatory environment for it. And that's what SEC had just done. And I must give kudos to the people in SEC because these things are not easy.
Yes.
Trying to understand the minds of these young people and also trying to understand the technology that goes with it. Then for my colleagues, in fact, I say kudos because we know that the infrastructure, they already have it. The issue now is to train senior brokers or brokers generally to begin to approach. And you can see that they are ever ready to learn. And you can see the crop of young traders that we train today, all this is incorporated in their curriculum. So we are seeing that, yes, the Nigerian stockbroker that are being trained by the SEC, NGX, and other trading exchanges are really ready. They have that capacity now, but more still needs to be done.
Okay, now when you say do they have the competence, are you referring to the people who run these exchange platforms, that's the digital exchange platforms, or are you referring to the Securities and Exchange Commission?
For the SEC, they have the capacity. For those who run it, they also have the capacity. But you see, training and retraining is a continuous thing. Continuous learning is there. And we will learn from those other clients that have done it before, and we are seeing the benefits. Again, like you mentioned in your intro, there's no investment without risks.
Exactly.
So there are a lot of risks involved in this. So, but the good thing there is the technology, the platform has been put in place to mitigate some of these risks. And that is why, you see, SEC, I so love their regulatory framework. Before they come and announce anything, a lot of pilot has been. And if you are involved in some of this, you would think everything is 100%. But yet, they have not come to the public to announce. So when they are telling you approval in principle, everything has been done. They just want to see, because there's one thing to everything is ready. Now, when you begin to implement, of course, you must see one or two issues here and there. Yeah. So kudos to SEC. And I must tell you, yes, the regulators are really ready. They have the capacity. And of course, those who are going to be operating these exchanges are also very, very ready.
Okay, now the DG of SEC, that's Dr. Emomotimi Agama, said that this decision was influenced by global trades in digital finance. And like I mentioned, in other Western countries, people are using cryptocurrencies to actually purchase goods and use it as a means of payment. And one of the platforms that was recently also approved allows Nigerians to do that. Now, looking at this new approval from SEC, do you think that they would make it more legal for Nigerians to use cryptocurrencies to buy items here in this country?
Yes. If you look at the space, I wouldn't say it's just cryptocurrency space. It's digital assets, virtual money. Now, there were some issues between the CBN and SEC when it came to regulation and all that, Now, CBN was saying these things are money. So they have that regulatory preview. Now, SEC is also seeing it as assets. These are virtual assets. So as far back as 2020, SEC already came up with a framework how to regulate virtual assets. So there were some issues with them and with the CBN, and of course everything was resolved, and that's why you are seeing today SEC has given approval, and some are also waiting regulatory approval. Now, for the uses of these exchanges, there are so many things. You can use it to raise funds. You can use it to, like you have said, buy luxury items. You can even use for real estate. You can use for so many things. But it is just as simple as buying and selling. It's an exchange. And the exchange is there, providing the platform. The operators, those who are going to be operating, usually are going to be mostly young persons. They will also be giving, they already have that training themselves, but they will just be giving that regulatory framework. Anti-money laundering is very key. Know your customer. Now, when all these things are in place, it becomes easy for SEC to now regulate virtual assets or virtual asset operators or the virtual assets exchange providers. All these will have their own guidelines. It's already there. So when you are coming to that space, you already know what you want to do. One of the companies that are waiting regulatory approval is the housing exchange. That is going to contribute a lot in terms of housing development in the country. But the challenges are there, okay, which is...
But before we talk about the challenges, please, I want to ask you this now. How will this decision impact Nigeria's capital markets?
Very straightforward. One, the market is now being deepened because some maybe foreign investors or even Nigerian investors will say, oh, the Nigerian capital market is not deep enough. But we are telling them that the Nigerian capital market is deep, but it can still be deepened. And with all these products coming, virtual products coming in, is going to further deepen the Nigerian capital market. At the same time, provide another avenue for different asset classes to be traded, which is going to be meeting the needs of the Gen Zs. I don't know if I'm correct using that word,
Yes,
the young
young
people,
people, yes.
because you need to meet them where they are. In our own days, when we started this market, you fill a lot of forms, fill form, do this, a lot of paperwork and all that. But I will tell you now, the young persons we are having coming to say they want to start buying shares, that is the basic plain vanilla, they are, I want to say they are impatient, but they are so energetic. They don't want you to waste their time. So right there on their phone, they are opening their accounts, providing all the necessary documents, KYC and all that. But we have to say, okay, you guys are very fast, but hold on, we need to do some of these few things. Okay, KYC, yes, we need to do it, anti-money laundering, because we need to ensure that, because these risks, they are still there. So we need to put things in place to mitigate some of these risks. So we are following these young persons, I don't want to use the word Gen Z again, so that we attract them to the market. They also attract their friends, and you can see that, yes, that's their creative mind can now be harnessed for proper utilization, not only for the capital market deepening, but also for the economy at large, and at the same time, youth engagement.
Okay, well, as you know, the DG of SEC, that's Dr. Agama, he also mentioned that this new development in the Nigerian financial system is also to attract more young people. And President Tinubu wants more young people to come into our Nigerian financial market. So now, how do you think this will positively impact Nigerian youths? As you rightfully mentioned, a lot of them are already in tune with cryptocurrencies and other digital assets. But how do you think this will positively impacts them?
Yes, thank you very much. Maybe I'll just use platform to also say that before the end of this month, I'll be speaking somewhere in Port Harcourt. I'm talking of positive technology, okay, reducing cybercrime and wealth creation. So you can see that, and my audience are basically going to be youths. Now, I will tell you, in one of my engagements with these youths, I want to mention his name. He was able to demonstrate on my phone that, in fact, I had the arrangement with him because I heard that he's without any degree, a smart kid. He was able to demonstrate on my phone how to send me an alert.
Wow. Okay.
And I saw the alert. And I said, come, this is a skill. It's a young person. He said he just left high school, secondary school, about 2 years ago. Now, and his colleagues, such kind of youth, we can harness their potential to this cryptocurrency, digital assets, and with SEC providing that regulatory purview, you can see that they are making use of technology in the positive light, and which is one of my goals, to ensure that as much youth as possible get involved in finances. And the only way we can attract them is by digital assets, which is what SEC has done. And I'm still going to be commending SEC because I know somebody will say you cannot teach an old dog a new skill. But you can see that both the regulators, both the operators, my colleague, and others, will discover that we are ever ready to learn. So as me, I'm going for that conference now. I'm already opening my mind for the new things I'm going to be learning from these youths. Of course, I will be the facilitator in terms of wealth creation using digital assets. Instead of them converting that energy to negative vice in our society, cause a lot of problem, those energies can be harnessed and used for positive in the Nigerian economy. And of course, once the youths are involved in nation building, they take it to the next level.
Oh, yes, they do. Yes. Well said. Thank you for that, Mr. Charles. Now, what safeguards are in place to protect investors in this crypto market, or let me say this digital assets platform?
Okay, SEC has already come up with guidelines, not just to regulate the exchanges, but regulating the people that are going to be operating on that exchange. So it's like the framework is like any other SEC regulatory purview. The infrastructure provider will be regulated in terms of the quality of the infrastructure, the quality of their staff that will be running that exchange. Then, of course, those persons that will be operating on the exchange, maybe these are our youth, will also be registered. They will also go through some form of training, that is understanding the basis of some of these regulation. That is, you need to do KYC, you need to make all the arrangement for anti-money laundering and all that. So all this is just being put in place to ensure that as we are, using the potentials of this youth, at the same time, we are safeguarding the risks that are associated with virtual asset trading. Because if I tell you here that there are no risks, I'll just be deceiving myself. There will be challenges, there will be risks, but the most important thing for the financial sector and the capital market, we are good at mitigating risks.
Okay, well said. Now, you've mentioned a lot of infrastructure that needs to be built. So, what kind of infrastructure should SEC and other regulatory bodies build to manage those challenges and opportunities that this new digital assets will present?
Okay, it's nothing that's new. The technology is all over the place, and one thing I like the market is, I'll give an example. As a trader, we were using Horizon as a software to trade. And when we discovered that the people that built this Horizon have moved on, there are issues of maintenance. Now, new ones came up. We had to invite them to Nigeria here to train our traders. I was part of the people that trained our traders here, and we moved into the new platform we are using. And we took some time to ensure that over 2,000 brokers were trained on that new platform. So a similar thing can be done. And it's already going on. In fact, it has been concluded, because all the infrastructure, all the technology, all the software that are needed for this to take off is already being done and tested. SEC, what they call is a technology sandbox. All this technology has been tested. All what is required is in place now. It is only left for implementation. And SEC and the operators are trying to see that they don't start something and at the end of the day, we're having issues. So that is why, so coming to your question, yes, all the infrastructure is in place. The technology, the issues, everything is on ground. When it comes to virtual assets and cryptocurrency, everything is on ground. However, I am not telling you that there are not going to be challenges.
Yes, I was going to ask you that, please.
There will be challenges.
What kind of challenges?
There will be challenges in terms of, I have just mentioned it, the challenges of KYC.
Yes, that's very important.
It's an issue. And that is why the operators will need to do a lot of KYC, for people you are buying for and people you are selling for some of the digital assets. We just need to know so that people don't use those kind of platforms to launder money at the same time, begin to finance terrorism.
Yes. That's very true. Okay, now looking at this new arrangement, yes, we all welcome it. It's something wonderful. Now, how can these crypto exchange platforms, or like you said, whether it's crypto exchange or blockchains, now, how can they complement the traditional capital market instruments?
Okay, there is no competition there. And I don't even believe in competition, because if you create wealth via competition, that's not real wealth. If you want to create wealth, you have to be creative. You make money being creative, not competing with somebody. The universe is large for everybody. And for the traditional capital market, yes, they will still be there. But I don't understand what you say. What is traditional capital market? Today, I can be in your studio. During the break, I can trade right from my phone. So is that traditional again?
No, it's not traditional.
So even old people like us too, old brokers, everybody has keyed in to the digital platform. As I speak to you, I have also done it. From my village, I was trading. We have persons who come for our training from Canada, from the US. So you can see that we have all embraced that digital landscape and there is no going back. However, from time to time, this is my personal opinion, yes, we want to see our faces. So once in a while, we invite people to come to the floor and we just see and fraternize and sometimes maybe gossip here and there.
Okay. Yes, thank you for that, Mr. Charles. Now, let's take a break now. When we return, we're going to still discuss the benefits of this to our young people in Nigeria, and also not just the young people alone, also our older generation, to how they can tap into this and how they can protect themselves from fraud. So join us after the break. Many thanks for watching the program. Now, we are discussing the recent approval by the Securities and Exchange Commission of crypto exchange platforms and other digital assets, and how we can engage Nigerian youths in our country, especially in the capital market. And to discuss these issues with me, I have Mr. Charles Fakrogha, a well-experienced stockbroker, a well-experienced financial investment analyst with over 20 years of experience in Nigeria's financial sector. So thank you so much, Mr. Charles, for sharing your insights into this discussion. Now, okay, yes, we've talked about the risk of this. Now, looking at other countries, I mentioned earlier on that other countries of the world, whether you're in North America or in Europe, that they have already started using different digital assets to purchase goods and use it as a means of payment. And now in Nigeria, we haven't really started that in very, very wide reach, even though one of the crypto platforms is already engaging in this, and with some regulations from SEC. Now, how does the SEC's approval compare to other regulatory frameworks in other countries of the world?
Yes, thank you very much. You know, the SEC, they don't just regulate in isolation. There is this SOUQ, and the International Organization of Securities Commission, which our SEC Nigeria is also part of.
Sorry,
it.
I didn't hear that. International
Organization of Securities Commission.
Okay, international.
Yes. So they are responsible for regulation of the securities market all over the world. So SEC Nigeria is also tapping from that organization because we're a member, and the regulations they are going to be putting in place, or what they are put in place, is in line with the global regulation when it comes to these digital assets. Okay, so you can see that yes, in some countries at first they accepted, but after some time they said no. But you can see that with this IOSCO in place now, all these regulations are going to be harmonized. So Nigerian SEC is already collaborating. So if there are review changes here and there, the Nigerian SEC is also going to review our own. And we're going to be doing a global regulatory framework, because we can only achieve financial inclusion when there is collaboration all over the world. Because securities in Nigeria is also securities in other clients. And if we are looking at a global issue in terms of anti-money laundering, terrorist financing, regulations has to be harmonized globally, so that you don't say some countries are safe havens for some of these assets, and when there are loopholes in their regulation, people can take advantage and do certain things that are not required, maybe anti-money laundering, money laundering, financing of terrorism and all that. So yes, from what we have in SEC now, is in line with global regulatory framework.
Okay. Now, how does the SEC plan to ensure that crypto exchanges comply with regulatory standards?
Okay, they are, in fact, that is the business of SEC, to protect investors in the Nigerian capital market. And one of their main function is compliance. And every operator, you know that SEC is synonymous with compliance, because an enforcement, not just to tell you to comply, but they will also tell you that you just need to comply, and they will need to enforce it. Now, their approach has been very, very good, because it's collaboration. Before any rules, regulation comes out, they throw it out to the stakeholders. Everybody look at it, make input. So that when you see that new regulation, it will not be something new. So that approach has been working, and I will encourage them, when it comes to this crypto, they're going to be doing the same thing. So the enforcement, compliance and enforcement is key. And in fact, there is a full department from SEC that does that. Then they also develop the market. That is one of their key roles. And they cannot develop the market alone. Operators like myself, the media like you people, are also involved when it comes to capital market development. And SEC is at the forefront, in terms of developing the market. So as they are developing the market, they are also ensuring that rules and regulations are adhered to strictly. And if there are issues of infractions, of course, it is obvious the penalties are there. But they are not always trying to say use the big hammer. That's why they do a lot of enlightenment, awareness for operators, and even also for investors, so that you are aware, So by the time they are coming for that enforcement, you already know that, yes, you have actually done something wrong, because they give you a lot of leverage. And even in terms of dispute resolution in the capital market, generally, not only on crypto, they tell you need to engage with your customers first. So if as a trader, there are issues between me and one of the Gen Zs now,
Or the younger
or the
generation.
younger generation of these traders, yes, then we have to resolve it. And if both parties are not, or a party is not satisfied, then you can take it up to your trade union. From there, you can take it up to, maybe the SEC and all that. So regulatory framework is in place when it comes to compliance and enforcement. It is already there. So SEC is just going to be applying it to these crypto exchanges. The only challenge we might be seeing there is enough manpower. That could be an issue, yes, because you need manpower to really make this enforcement.
So,
And I know that SEC, with their training school, they are training quite a lot of people within, and also some of the new intakes they will be taking. Of course, they will go through their own capital market institute, and all these things are being taken care of there. So we just want to encourage a lot of young people to take interest in the capital market as a career, so that we have enough manpower that will be ready and positioned to take the Nigerian capital market and the Nigerian economy to the next level. We need to build a $1 trillion economy.
Oh,
And
certainly
the capital market needs to be at the forefront.
Yes, that's where we're all looking at now. We know that technology is going to be used more often in the future, and we know, like we've mentioned earlier on, our younger generation, they are quite knowledgeable with all the technological skills. Now, with our older generation, now I'm quite sure when the more this is being regulated, the more they are calling for investors, the more they are saying, okay, you can actually use this digital assets to purchase goods. How do we enlighten the older generation of the benefits of this, and also protect them from scams and all sorts of risks that these digital assets are known for?
Thank you very much. That is even the core of this discussion. Change is a very difficult thing, but it's the only thing that is constant.
Yes.
And you will agree with me that for any new thing that is coming, we have come to realize as trainers that it is the beginning that is difficult. After that initial phase, the older generations like ourselves, and even those older than me, will now begin to appreciate it. Because let's even go basics. If you tell the old farmer in the village, an old woman, that she can get information on her phone concerning where she can get fertilizer, the little things she can plant and all that on her phone, and you just tell her, just dial 566 as said, and she tries it, you demonstrate, and she sees it, then after one or two trials, you see that she will buy into it. And that is financial inclusion. So coming to your question, intergenerational, how would I put it now? Intergenerational commitments, people interacting will play off. Because you will tell me that the younger ones are open to new technology as compared to the older ones. But what is the essence of that technology? Make things easier for everybody. So if the older generations also see that this technology is going to be making things easy for them, faster for them, Why won't they want to buy into it? But the issue there is, like I was telling some of these crypto experts, young people then, I said, if you do these things in hiding, all this technology in hiding, then if you know that what you are doing is really genuine, then come out, explain to people like us, who will be able to see it very well, buy into it, and now take it to the next level, so that the regulators, the government, everybody will now say, wow, this is good. But if you now begin to do it on your own, there are so many things they do on their phone, which myself, I can't even do. But by the time they come up openly, and of course, they need to trust the older generations too. That is also key. And I have applied that in some of my financial inclusion program that I get involved into, because especially with the DMO. After the whole program, which I MC, I'll make an announcement. I want to see some of the young persons that are here so that we can talk one-on-one. And we talk, and I'm amazed as to the kind of creative ideas they are bringing to this investment. And so we learn from them. So the issue is, financial inclusion is not just only for people in the villages or older people. It's also for other young persons. The most important thing there is their mind. How do we begin to have them to have that kind of mindset, that they will see a bigger picture, how to use that technology to cause impacts in their environment, at the same time engage them meaningfully, so that they can see that they can make money legally using this technology. And at the end of the day, the issue of cybercrime, the issue of what do you call it, is it Yahoo Yahoo now, and other things, will be reduced to the barest minimum, because it's the same energy, it's the same ingenuity they are using to do this thing. So it's just a matter of harnessing that energy for positive use. Like I always believe that energy is positive. It depends on how you make use of it. There is only one power, and that power flows to the universe. Is what you make use of it. You can use it to do evil, you can use it to do good. So we should be looking at using this, their ingenuity, to create positive outcome. But just like electricity, now electricity can be used to electrocute somebody. Electricity can provide all this power for us. So it depends on the usage. So the same applies to these young persons. It's a matter of their mindset. How do we focus their mindsets so that they begin to see the need to use technology in a positive way? And I tell you, they will buy into it. I will see an improvement in our digital economy.
Okay, well said, Mr. Charles. Thank you for that. Now, I'm looking at this new development. We've seen, yes, you've mentioned all the benefits, all the advantages of these things now. So, now, how would you, like, looking as a well-experienced stockbroker as yourself now, what would you recommend that the SEC should do to ensure that these digital assets platforms don't pose any risk to to our economy or to our future investors? As the reason I'm asking this is because in the past we've heard about how some digital platforms were influencing the sale of when Naira was selling against other foreign currencies.
Okay,
We've seen all
Binance.
those issues, and yes, concerning Binance. So we've seen all these issues. So how can SEC protect our economy? Because the more this is out there, the more we can use these digital assets. People keep wondering if it's going to influence our Naira. So let me get your thoughts on this.
Yes, I share that fear too. About the use of these digital exchanges, so that they don't cause issues in our economy. Because from experience, the government have seen some of them. Again, it goes back to regulation. Once you have that strong regulatory framework in place and is being enforced, that is the most important thing. And again, I will go back to SEC. Their regulatory framework is there are regular intervals. You make your returns, you make your reports, and from time to time, their officers come and see what you are doing. And in fact, with the improving this technology, they can even be in the offices and monitor what happens in some of these exchanges. So that monitoring, surveillance is key. And again, I will tell you, they have the capacity. Because if they can do it for the already existing exchanges, it's a matter of just doing some tweaking here and there. It will also apply to these cryptocurrency exchanges. It is doable. they can do it, and they also know that it's for the benefit of the economy. Because if we have issues, an exchange is encouraging a lot of unusual trades, and people are using your exchange to commit so many fraud, then it's also a failure of regulation. Because if that exchange is properly regulated, then of course we won't have issues. But at the same time, again, that the public has to understand, apart from the SEC doing regulation, you also have what we call self-regulatory organization. So some of these exchanges are also going to be self-regulatory. So they are also going to regulate the people that are using their platform. So you can see that, like from your intro, there is two layers of regulation. That is, the first layer is the SRO themselves. That is self-regulation organization. That is the exchanges themselves. They will regulate their members, those who are using their platform. Then SEC will also be the second level. So you can see that with what we have on ground, if it's implemented, we'll not have so much issue. At the same time, again, there is no system that is 100% perfect. So we're going to be having issues here and there. But the most important thing is, once those things happen, then we know where and what to do. I'll give you a typical example. Coming down locally. Now, in the past, before, you do certain things as a trader, your clients might not be aware. But today, by the time you say, okay, the person says, buy or sell for me, as you are on the machine using the infrastructure, bam, 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 you have bought, enter, you have bought. The investor is getting updates. In the past, it wasn't like that. So you can see that that has been made possible by improved financial technology. So yes, the SEC and the SROs, even the operators, have a big responsibility to ensure that everybody plays by the book, and we emphasize integrity and ethics, professionalism, so that we protect the investor. Well, one of your key watchword for me as a trader is investors protection. I need to protect my client. I need to protect the investor. And if, as an operator, you also found one thing, there are mechanisms to also take care of that operator. So you can see that everything is in place. But of course, like I said, no system is 100% perfect. There will be issues around there. That's why we have the IST, which is also a creation of law. That is Investment and Security Tribunal. So if you have used all the mechanism on ground, you're not satisfied, you have used the SEC APC, you're not satisfied, then the matter goes to IST. So investors, even foreign investors, are assured that when there are issues, then there are laid down mechanisms for this dispute to be resolved. You get to IST, and if you're not satisfied with IST, then of course you cannot take it to appeal courts. If you're not satisfied, of course, you go to the Supreme Court. So yes, these measures are on ground, they're in place. So the regulatory, that is the exchanges themselves, have to put in place their own measures to ensure that their members act with integrity.
Okay, now we're going to round up the program in a short while now, but in a few words now, can you just tell us what is the future outlook for crypto adoption and regulation in Nigeria?
Yeah, thank you very much. I must say that, Lovina, is it that the content that I used in training, it's about 4 years ago. The last topic was the future of cryptocurrency. Because to tell you that, yes, we have seen these things, we have looked at it and said, how is it going to be? For me, I see cryptocurrency, not just only cryptocurrency, we tell you of Bitcoin, Ethereum, initial coin offering. In the future, what I see is proper regulation. I see innovation. I also see more and more people embracing it, because that is the only way to go. But when we as operators, we talk about cryptocurrency, blockchain, digital currency, we are talking about financial technology, how it can be improved to make trading seamless, both from the operator and also the clients. Then even for the regulators, so that they can see everything is transparent. And that is what I see going into the future, a seamless trading for digital assets, and at the same time, an improvement in the existing technology we use today.
Thank you so much for your time this morning, Mr. Charles Fakrogha, and sharing your insights on how this new development by Nigeria's Securities and Exchange Commission will definitely impact on the Nigerian youth and also engage them positively in our capital market system. Many thanks for sharing your inputs into this, and I look forward, or rather, we look forward to having you again on the program Market Insights. Many thanks for joining us this morning. Okay, now let's look at the money markets this morning, the dollars, pound sterling, and the euro, how it's selling this morning. So we're looking at the Central Bank of Nigeria rates and the parallel markets rates. So for today, Wednesday, 11th September, the dollar is currently selling at, this is the CBN rates, 1,575 naira to $1. And at the parallel markets rate, it is selling for 1,651 naira to $1. For the pound sterling at the CBN rate, it is selling at 2,093 naira to £1 sterling. At the parallel market rate, it's selling at 2,162 naira to £1 sterling. For the euro, it's selling at 1,771 naira to €1. And at the parallel market, it is selling for 1,816 naira to €1. So those are our money market figures this morning. Many thanks for watching the program Market Insights, and we look forward to more innovations in our capital market system and overall in our economy in the future. Do stay tuned to the news update on SOUQ News Television. I am your host, Lovina Emah.